Hello. And welcome in to another episode of Farm to Fame. I am Kelsey Wingert. That is self-proclaimed San Diego Padres fan, Peter Moylan, and Matty Mass, our captain, our pilot, our captain. He's back. He left us last week.
Mitch was great.
He left us in good hands. Yeah, Mitch was really chill. We loved Mitch. Good job, Mitch.
Well done, Mitch. But welcome back, Matty. Matty, how are you?
Matty.
Thank you. I'm good. Happy to be back.
And just to point out that the way you are sitting right now does look like, as Kelsey pointed out earlier before we got live,
yeah,
you look like you're wearing Wolverine's leather jacket right now. So congratulations. We're not live, but we're recording this.
No, I like how you said it, that when you said live, you were like confused about it. You're like, what?
Matty, talk to us. You good? You're great. You look wonderful. You're feeling good. How's headquarters? Big week coming up.
Headquarters is good. Look at all the people currently working here.
Wow. The office is never empty.
That's why the Wi-Fi is so good.
People's Day, everybody.
And Mental Health Awareness Day.
Good.
Mental Health Awareness Day.
That's a good one.
I am very good. Arsenal beat Liverpool yesterday 3-2.
Excellent.
And that is talking soccer.
We don't have a soccer podcast. Dude, that game last night was wild. That's what Paxton and I talked about. This is as Metsy as it has gotten. This is it.
I don't want to say that though, but
this is as Metsy as it's ever been.
Can I give you my honest perspective as to what happened? I honestly feel like that sweep, even though it wasn't the end of their season, that sweep in Atlanta absolutely was the knockout punch for the Mets. And I don't know. Maybe it was they keep talking about the sweep of the Cubs, but they could have recovered from the sweep of the Cubs by just taking one of those games in Atlanta. And they just, when the big games happened, it was like they got a couple of decent performances, but it just wasn't enough to propel them. And I am sad for Met fans. I'm sad for Jolly, and I'm sad for Met fans because this year was really good and then not.
Yeah. Max Scherzer. Oh man, I can't imagine how fuming he was. I mean, and I said this to Paxton whenever she called me into the live stream. Could you imagine being Steve Cohen right now, who just went out and bought every free agent and locked up Scherzer for $50 million a year, and the storyline the whole year has been the best 1-2 punch in baseball? You're going to have Jacob deGrom and Max Scherzer in the postseason. deGrom's going to be back for the postseason. This is the best 1-2 punch in the history of baseball, and they poo-poo the bed in Atlanta. And then Scherzer poo-poos the bed in the Wildcard series. And then deGrom did not poo-poo the bed, but 6 innings, 2 runs isn't even good enough for Jacob deGrom. But that's a good outing in the postseason, don't get me wrong. But man, that was insane.
It just, look, Musgrove was awesome last night, but
so good.
But at the same time, it's like that offense. I've watched that offense all year long grind the best pitchers in the game down to their bones, and they're at 100 pitches through 4 2/3. And that's what the Mets do. And that's what they've done all year. And then all of a sudden they just lost that. I don't know what happened, but Musgrove just tore them up. They weren't able to foul anything off. They weren't able to fight at bats. They weren't able to grind. They weren't able to do with the normal stuff that Mets fans are used to seeing Mets players do.
Yeah.
And I don't know what happened. I honestly don't know if they had, I just think that sweep just crushed them.
Yeah, that's fair. What is your explanation? So Joe Musgrove last night became the 5th starting pitcher in games 1. Well, last night was a game 3.
Right.
When did Joe Musgrove pitch? Yesterday or the day before?
Yesterday.
Yesterday?
He clinched it. Yeah.
Okay. So he became the 5th starting pitcher so far in the postseason to throw 7 or more innings pitched.
There you go.
What is your explanation for that?
The guys that have done it are really good, but I also think that the Rays Guardians series was like, it was, I don't know how to explain that series. Like
Yeah.
even if you're a baseball purist, you kind of look at that going, I kind of hope someone gets a hit, or
Yeah, that
like,
was
can we get some
just
offense going? It was kind of just like, holy shit.
15 innings.
I know. I can't explain that one. I don't know. I just think this is the product of spreading the playoffs a little thinner than normal. And those teams that are more value driven are very pitcher driven and run prevention driven. So those two teams match up, and there's not a lot of offense that you're going to see, no matter who it is. And it's not until you get to the next round where the best four teams actually are waiting for the next ones that you're going to see the premium offenses start to happen. Now, I don't expect any of the games to be anything like that Guardians Tampa series at all. I think there's going to be a shit ton more offense this round, and whether it's MLB changing the baseballs or not, I think it's going to be fun. Maddie, what do you reckon? Do you think? What do you think about the Yankees Guardians matchup, and how do you feel about next week at HQ? And are there going to be fistfights?
No fistfights.
Okay, sure.
No, but I think the Guardians starting pitching is their strong point. I think that the Yankees hitting has been a strong point. So I'm curious how those two will match up. I think it can go either way there. Yankees pitching, I think, dominates Guardians hitting. So I think the balance leans Yanks.
So
I would like to
First-
get out of that 3-1. Move on.
I think that's everybody's plan.
Remember
when I picked
I'll
the
talk about
Padres
this
to
one.
beat the Mets last week?
Yeah, you did. You did do that.
I nailed everyone except for the Philly one, but
I
don't-
lost all of them,
I
I think.
really was. If Hensley can throw a strike, the Cardinals win that game, and the Cardinals win that series. I have no doubt in my mind. But him and I don't know why they didn't make a move earlier than what they did is the question that I had, and I'm sure this has been discussed everywhere already, but I just could not understand how they left him in there that long. But
Who are you talking about?
the Hensley.
Yeah, the Cardinals reliever that gave up 6. in
He's got the
ninth.
finger.
Or
Yeah.
he started that 6th.
He's been so money all year long. It was just so devastating for them.
It
Holy
was
cow.
just like such a weird way after all of the highs this season that we got from Pujols and Yachty, and
You're
just
so
like
right.
following that storyline all season long. It was
What a
such a
disappointment.
weird and anticlimactic way.
Yeah,
I'm glad they both like got a hit in their final at bat,
sure.
but like, man, I mean, it just felt like the story was like incomplete when it ended, because it was like, no, wait, that's not. They were supposed to make a run.
When I saw what was happening with the playoff picture, every Braves fan in the world knew that there was going to be a Cardinals Braves matchup,
Yeah.
because that was the history, and it's not been a good one for us when the
Yeah.
matchup's gone that way. So, that that's what I was looking at, and with all the stories around them and all the magic that was happening
Yeah.
already, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
But man, baseball, Padres, baseball, like all of
That
it
is like, it's not the movie I rented. I rented the one.
You
I
got
rented the
wrong
one with the happy ending
You
for
got it on
Albert.
VHS. That was the problem. We're up to Blu-rays now.
How about a round of applause for Albert Pujols and 703 home runs? That's where you ended?
Yeah.
Okay, let's quickly, I have some questions about the 4 wildcard series. We've probably talked about most of it, but Phillies
Okay.
beating the Cards, what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Bummer to see Albert and Yachty go out that way. Is Adam Wainwright retiring or not?
If I was to have a guess, there's no way you walk away throwing away as good as he is, unless it's a family-driven thing. But I think he's got a pretty good balance right now.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think I don't know.
Do you know him?
I know him enough so he was doing his normal lap around the road stadiums that he does when he goes to a new road stadium, and he was in talking to the radio guys, and he saw me through the window, and he came in and said hello, and he said, "G'day, mate." So
Aww.
we know each other well enough to say hello and to recognize each other, and I absolutely respect the man. He's done so much for St. Louis. He's done so much for the Cardinals. He's done so much for the young pitching in that whole organization. And he was traded from the Braves. So everybody in the Braves that I started my career with played with him in the minor leagues and raved about him. Like Kelly Johnson talked about him like a brother. All those guys would talk about him like a brother. So
that's cool.
I knew that he was a really, really good dude, and I think the Braves missed on that. But there's been congratulations to his.
Been some that hit. Spencer Strider signing an extension today. Literally cannot believe that we haven't discussed that at all. Like even before the show, no discussion. I can't believe that's one of the first thing I said to you. Spencer Strider signed what? 6 years, 75.
I haven't seen the details. I just saw it this morning.
You're panicking because you didn't realize you had Brian Jordan's golf tournament. So you're probably rushing down to Chateau Elan. This news is breaking about Spencer Strider.
I'm like, holy schmoles is what I was saying to myself.
Do you think that it's too soon to give him that much money? You've seen like one season is all you need to see. The stuff
I've seen a month of what he did for a month, and that carried on, and guys weren't able to make. When he's facing teams on back and good teams on back-to-back, starts, and he's having a lot of success, he knows what he's doing. Like he knows exactly what he's doing, and he takes care of himself. I know go, buddy. You're going to say something?
I want to ask before you get too far in.
Away.
I saw a couple comments on Twitter like this.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's on his rookie year, he already had 5 more years on a rookie deal.
Yeah.
They only guaranteed him the 6th year. Then they have the 7th year as an option for another $22 million, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Is the whole purpose just to lock him in for the 6th and 7th year at a lower price? Because in reality, they really only tacked on 1 to 2 more seasons at a much higher price.
What they're looking at is what he's potentially going to do in a full season next year as a starter and a full season the year after once he reaches arbitration.
Yeah.
He could break arbitration numbers. Like Ohtani got whatever he got this year, but we're talking, if he keeps going the way he's going, he could be worth 25-30 million a year in arbitration.
Yes.
Who knows? So I think what they've done is locked him up at a decent, reasonable, fair price, and
which I just did the math on. The AAV on his deal, 6 years, 75 is 12.5 million a year.
That's definitely.
And then that option is what'd you say, Matt? 22?
Yeah.
That's fair. I mean, it's fair.
So you're saying they probably overpaid over the next 2 years before arbitration, but then the next 4 to 5 after that, now they're getting a deal.
Correct.
Mm.
And when it's all said and done, he still reaches free agency at about the same time and can do whatever he wants at that point. Like what they've done in this organization is absolutely genius. Now, it's fantastic to this point, but I really do believe, I firmly believe in my heart that this only thing is going to work. There's one puzzle piece missing. And if you can lock up that final puzzle piece.
What's that puzzle piece? Dansby?
It rhymes with Schramsby and Swanson.
Swanson's, that's his last name.
Yeah, it's kind of rhymes with it too. Perfectly. That's the final piece. And
Peter,
I think they're still going to be successful if they don't sign Dansby. I think they are going to be what do they call it when it's more than a generation? Not generational. They're going to be dynasty.
Generational is pretty.
They're going to be a dynasty.
You think Dansby's going to? Oh, if they lock up.
If they can get Dansby locked up, with everything that they already have.
Yeah.
And they need Max as well, but that's good. I mean, in a perfect world, they can't sign everybody, but they need Max. They
Who
need
do you
somebody-
want? Max Fried or Dansby Swanson?
Don't you put me in that. Don't you put me in that
Who?
position. Nope. I want them both, and I'm not choosing. I don't have to
Okay,
choose.
I want to ask you a question. I find it very interesting that they are locking all of these guys up and they have not locked Dansby up.
Right. I'm pretty sure that the conversation has to have been had at some point.
So
But-
does that concern you? Or do
No.
you think, I mean, there's such a good shortstop class. Do you think that they would rather go out and spend money on one of the other free agent shortstops than spend it on?
I
Is this a
don't.
career year for Dansby?
Yes.
Obviously, but can
Yes.
you duplicate it?
Yeah, I think you can duplicate it, but I'm not. That's not the question. The question is, what is a shortstop that's done this for 1 year and 1.5 years? What is his value? What is the shortstop market going to look like? That's the issue on, I think, on both sides, because if you look at it, yes, it's going to be an unbelievable shortstop class, but how do you not put Dansby at the top of that right now based on what he's done over the last season? I mean, Trey Turner's one of the best hitters in the league. They're both really good. Like, they're both great players. I don't know who ranks better with the metrics, but I watch Dansby every day, and it's hard for me to think that Trey's much better than that.
Yeah. Trey Turner has struggled to end the regular season, but
Did he?
okay. We took a really good but sharp left turn.
Lots of clips. in
My
it.
final question about Adam Wainwright.
Yes.
Is he a guy who doesn't like the spotlight? Like, would there be a reason that he wouldn't want to be involved in this farewell tour? Like, is he just like a private dude? Or do you think he legitimately didn't know throughout the season if he would play again next year?
Has he announced whether he is or isn't going to play next
No,
year?
like, we don't know if he's coming back or not. The speculation has been that it could be his last season, but could is usually the word being, so that's not even speculation.
I don't know where he lives. I don't know his off-season situation. If his off-season situation is St. Louis, then I don't see him pitching anywhere
No
else
shot.
but St. Louis. But I thought it may have been in. I don't know where he lives.
No shot that dude is living in St. Louis in the off season. He's living on a farm somewhere.
Okay,
He's
he's from
like,
Georgia.
he wears cowboy hats and boots, cowboy boots.
They
to
do
the
that
field.
in St. Louis too, don't they?
Yeah, but like, I'm trying to see his like personal life on his Wikipedia.
Just trying to dive into his personal life real quick for our podcast.
Wainwright married his high school sweetheart, Jenny
course
Curry,
he
in
did.
2004. In a quirk of fate, he was in the midst of proposing to Curry in December of 2003 when a telephone call interrupted him to inform him he had been traded from the Braves to the Cardinals. Wow. Jenny holds a degree in interior design from Georgia Southern University. In the offseason, the Wainwrights reside on St. Simon's Island, Florida, with their 4 daughters and a son whom they've adopted in 2019. Wainwright has openly expressed his Christian faith and is active in the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. They live in St. Simon's Island. I love that for them. I did not realize they adopted a kid in 2019. That's so cool.
This is a podcast of discovery.
Yeah. Okay.
So that explains that he could play anywhere then. It doesn't matter where. I thought that maybe would be the drive to go back to St. Louis, but there is probably a team that's looking to make an impact next year and has a bunch of young guys that would love a Wainwright to come and guide their young pitchers through a season next year.
That sounds like the Atlanta Braves.
I just signed Charlie Morton for
wow.
that role a little bit.
17-year career for him.
Oh yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 seasons, over 200 innings pitched.
There could not have been, I'm just looking at the first slide here, and there could not have been 4 different styles of series played. The Phillies and the Cardinals was just shocking after
Yeah.
that first game. The Mariners Blue Jays was, I felt, mismanaged. The Guardians Rays was just like, can we get a hit, please? And the Padres Mets was, holy shit, the Mets are going to lose.
Yeah.
101 team winning season, and they're going to lose in the first round of the playoffs.
Are the Mariners the real deal?
I think their pitching is really good. And yes, their
Luis
offense,
Castillo.
that's a 0 for as long as he's in the game.
Yeah.
That was ridiculous.
I know. And I felt so bad for our friend Alec Manoah because he got the game 1 start for the Blue Jays and it didn't go well. And
yeah,
didn't go terribly. Didn't go well.
First inning, like jitters, whatever it was.
I think what did he end up? 5 2/3, 4 runs.
Yeah, all in the first, right?
Well, 3 in the first and then 1 like in the 5th or 6th or something. But man, he's a competitor. I know he was probably bummed. But the Mariners, that's a fun team to watch right now.
I know. And as we've seen more than 5 times in the last 10 years, the team with momentum going into the playoffs sometimes just sweeps their way through.
Yeah.
The Braves won 80 poo games last year.
80 poo?
80 poo. Not enough to scare anybody until they did. Moving on. Maddie's like, we're Arizona Fall League.
How do you feel about the Phillies?
I hate the fact that we're playing them, if I'm honest. Our record against them at home has been decent. Our record against them there has been meh. I think playoffs are a different beast. I think Ranger Suarez has had our number. So we need to figure out something against him. And I think Nola and Wheeler are nasty.
So they're going to have Wheeler, since they wanted to, they'll have Wheeler back for game 2, correct? And then Aaron Nola back for game 3. So they'll have Ranger Suarez, Zach Wheeler, Aaron Nola.
I assume so, yes.
That's
a pretty tough matchup for any offense.
And what's 1, 2, 3 in order for you?
For the Bravos?
Yeah.
It's all depending on Spencer Strider and his availability. But
what are you hearing about that?
I haven't heard a thing. I honestly have not heard a thing. I'm nothing.
Like, honest to God.
I have not heard a single snippet of information. We will know the roster tomorrow morning at 10:30.
Tight-lipped organization. It's incredible. Amazing. Yeah, it's incredible.
So my 1, 2, 3, if everybody's healthy, would be Freed, Strider, Wright, Morton, Strider. It doesn't really matter.
Peter, what? Did you land on something there?
Yeah.
What did you land on?
Max.
Yeah.
Game 1. And some sort of version of Wright, Strider, Morton for the games 2, 3, 4. I don't know what the theory would be. Would you want to separate Kyle Wright and Charlie Morton because they're not similar, but they do have similar-ish stuff? So would you maybe want to go with a Wright game 2, Strider game 3, and a Morton game 4, or because there's no off days?
Yeah.
Travel day, and you're going for it.
It's like the Phillies, that they're almost not intimidating because I feel like I don't feel like they have not threatened the Braves in the NL East in so long, but it's like,
good lineup.
Okay, you have
Schwarber.
Bryce Harper, you have Kyle Schwarber with his 46 home runs on the season. You have Rhys Hoskins. I don't know the seasons he's had, but he's somebody who you can rally around. You have JT Real Muto. How about that behind the dish?
Look at what Trent Grisham was able to do. He hit 170 this year on the season, and if there was an MVP awarded, you telling me he doesn't win it for that series?
Yeah, guys,
look up. D-Rose said it on his show the other day. Guys, look up at the scoreboard, and they're not looking at 160, 70 anymore. They're looking at, we get to start again. Here we go, and that can be a mindset adjustment for these guys where they just go, fuck it. What's there to lose? Let's go. And he looked like the Trent Grisham that they were expecting him to be all year. He was
Yeah.
unreal.
Yeah.
And that team, I predicted it. This team is freaking scary if they can get some momentum going. And you look at their starting pitching and you look at that lineup, and as much as they didn't do shit, and you look at Bob Melvin and you're like, that guy steered some ships down some shitty ways and found some ways to win. So saying anybody can turn into a superstar based on it being a whole new, it doesn't matter what you did in the fucking regular season is what I was saying, bitches. Pivoting.
Peter played in Brian Jordan's golf tournament where beers consumed. Who was the most famous person you saw today?
Charles Barkley.
Yeah, you saw a picture of him. You didn't drink?
No, I don't drink.
You don't drink?
When I do on special occasions, but I'm not on the golf course. I'm out there to lock it in.
Okay.
Drink.
Arizona Fall League is also going on, which I've been keeping up with. The Rockies have a bunch of guys over there.
Sing it, Kels.
Well, I'm going to sing about DraftKings first because the NFL action is in full swing at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. We're talking touchdowns, big plays, and even bigger wins. New customers can bet just $5 on any NFL team to win and get $200 in free bets if they do. Check this out. In addition to the usual bets, everyone can boost their winnings with DraftKings stepped up same game parlays. Maddie, is there an odd coming up that you like for an upcoming game?
At this point, you'd be foolish not to bet on the Giants, no matter what the spread is. Maybe I'm just going off the vibes of this office. There are a number of Giants fans here, but to go to London and beat the Packers, are you kidding me? Bet on the Giants.
Putting on the Giants. To make things even sweeter, you can throw down on stepped up same game parlays once per day all season long. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code JOHNBOY to get $200 in free bets if your team wins when you place a $5 bet on any football game. That's promo code JOHNBOY. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. Arizona Fall League. We'll run through this quickly because I think Peter and I just went on a really long rampage about MLB postseason. Arizona Fall League. If you guys are listening to this podcast, you're familiar with it. These are all baseball junkies, Pete. These people love baseball.
I know they are. I know. I love every single one of our people that watch and consume us. Go ahead. I'll stop.
Best prospects in baseball playing the Arizona Fall League. It's an honor to be named to the roster. All the superstars have played there. Each MLB team is going to send 7 top prospects to Arizona. There's 6 teams. That's a 3. There's 6 teams. And different organizations combined with their 7 prospects to make those teams. Each team has 5 different MLB clubs associated with it. So it's really cool because it's kind of like I was talking to Mookie Betts the other day for a rapid fire I did for John Boy.
Name drop. Whoopsie.
Well, I had to request for an interview, so it's not like a first name basis type thing. But when you talk to those guys about who are you most excited to play with in the WBC, that's how a lot of these prospects feel because they're getting to play alongside some of the other best prospects in baseball that they wouldn't have a chance to play with other than that. It's 6 weeks long, really fun to follow along with all the top prospects. Like we said, there's 6 teams. So the top prospects from this week, I'm going to start out with Zach Veen, because I'm biased, but he really has had one of the best seasons in the short season so far. He is Colorado's #1 prospect. He's playing for the Salt River Rafters. He's MLB's number 23 prospect. October 4th, dude went 4 for 4. He had a home run, 2-run double, a walk in that game. He has 4 stolen bases, which leads the Arizona Fall League. And I believe he's hitting 500. No, yeah, he's hitting 500 so far in Arizona Fall League. So he has really, really shown off. And he did that in the Futures game too. Look out for Zach Veen.
This is one of the cooler names I've ever read. Tink Hence. He's with the Cardinals, number 6 prospect. MLB's number 91 prospect. He's a right-handed pitcher. Played in single A most of the season. Ended the regular season with 81 punch-outs in only 52 and a third innings. He just had his first inning in the fall league, and he was throwing fuzz. 97, topped out at 98-ish. But looks like he is going to be a weapon. And he does it. He's only thrown. My goodness. Look at this video. Did you look at the video, Kels?
What are those numbers listed?
That's his 4-seam fastball numbers.
Luis Mateo is a Giants prospect. He's an outfielder playing for the Scottsdale Scorpions. I'm gonna take a sip of water. I'm wearing plumping lip gloss, and I just swallowed some of it, and it started to make my throat burn.
Why? What is clumping lip gloss?
Plumping.
Oh, I get it now.
Yeah, I'm too scared to get my lips done, so I wear plumping lip gloss instead.
Not a lot of girls have that same attitude as you.
No.
Not a lot of girls are scared of that.
No.
Too many girls are
That
not
needle
scared of
goes all the way into the lip.
Too many girls are not
out
scared of
on that. All the way in.
All the way love.
Luis Mateo.
Yep.
Prospect for the Giants, outfielder playing for the Scottsdale Scorpions. He's the Giants' number 3 prospect, number 63 overall in baseball.
Number 1 in your heart.
Yep. Last week in 6 games, which 6 games is the most games that have been played by any player up until this point. He's 7 for 22 with a home run, a triple, a double, 9 RBI in 6 games, as a reminder. 16 total bases so far on the season. But yeah, just through his first 3 Arizona Fall League games alone, 2 home runs, triple, double, 1,000 slugging, 9 RBI. So good for Luis Mateo.
Luis Angel Acuna. Is that how I say it? Luis Angel Acuna. Ronald's little brother. I just happened to be speaking to Ronald about his little brother on the plane on the way home from Miami the other day, and he told me that he just hit his first home run in the fall league.
Aww.
So it's funny that I'm reading this, but he's listed at 5'10". He's got explosive swing speed. If you've ever seen the video of him swinging, it looks just like his brother. His first 3 Arizona Fall League games, he's got 3 extra base hits, a double, and 2 home runs. And last week in 4 games, he went 6 for 17, 2 home runs, 2 doubles, and 5 stakes. And he had the hardest hit ball of the day at 104.5 miles per hour, just like his big old brother, innit?
That was not good.
And
it's like you're Australian or something. Remember that one time, man, if you guys don't know the origin story of Peter and I's friendship, it's wonderful. When I interviewed you at spring training, I didn't know. Okay.
I don't remember when. You know what? You've saying a lot from London, innit?
Does anybody have any weekly news flash headlines they would like to discuss? I'm opening the floor.
We didn't really get into the Blue Jays Seattle series.
Yeah.
The flash for me is that pitching stuff. And good for them. That's it.
Can they challenge the Astros?
I really think they can, but I think it's going to be like a Dodgers Brave situations where that's going to be the hump they're going to have to get over every year.
Yeah. The headlines, we hit on Spencer Strider's extension.
Boy.
We hit on Joe Musgrove's ears a little bit. Was there anything else about his ears?
It was so weird.
Yeah.
Look, Maddie, why did everybody felt like there was something there, right? That's what the general feeling in the headquarters was.
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily want to say in this headquarters. I would say more so online. But during the live stream, there was talk early that guy's ears look too shiny to not have something on them. I mean, the Andrew McCutcheon tweet said icy hot.
Yeah. Peter, what was your take on McCutcheon's tweet?
The red hot stuff? Yeah, I've heard guys doing that. That's the story that went around afterwards was, the story I heard was Clemens put it on his balls to have him He put it everywhere, from what I understand.
Yeah, but I saw Andrew McCutcheon's tweet, and the way that he spoke about it so definitively, I was like, oh,
I mean, they touched his ears and said there was nothing on there.
yeah.
Maybe it had been. Maybe he moisturizes.
I wonder if their fingers were burning after.
Maybe, like, but that doesn't add anything to anything. I mean, and that would have come out now saying, "Oh man, I was trying to do a strike call. And I felt like my fingers were numb."
Yeah, I felt that it was a bad look, but I felt that it was fair because they were saying that his spin rates were up across the board. His velocity was up across the board. But anyway,
which both coincide, by the way. If your velo's up, your spin rate's probably going to be up at the same time, and that could be, holy shit, we're in the playoffs. And hey,
yeah,
I'm pitching in New York. Let's go get them.
I'm fired up.
Yeah, that can happen too.
Are there any other headlines anybody would like to discuss?
Man. There are no.
Okay.
I'm excited about these playoffs though.
Yeah. So final series we have going into the DS, Cleveland versus the Yankees.
Oof.
Seattle versus Houston. Phillies versus Atlanta. And San Diego versus LA. So those are the matchups, folks. Those are the matchups. Peter?
Yeah.
Aussie Lingo.
Woollamaloo uppercut.
A kangaroo punch.
That's what I was gonna say. Let me think of something else. It is a sucker punch.
Close. A kick to the testicles.
Wow. What an episode.
What an episode.
Hey, the whole episode presented by DraftKings. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening. We love y'all. Happy October.
It's not my fault.
Farm on.
It's in the
Farm
book.
often. We will see you next Wednesday.